It's a cold January evening. I'm sneaking upstairs to my room. It's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm 20 years old. I've got the world on a string. I'm a student at York University. How little did I know that within an hour, my whole world would be turned upside down. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. I'm taking us back to a date that is forever etched and burned into my mind. January 13th, 1990. That is the day I lost my father at age 51 to a heart attack. I had a great relationship with my father, and he taught me many lessons throughout his life. Tonight I'm sharing with you 3 gifts that he gave me, where I was able to take the tragedy of his passing and yet learn something from them, and I'm sharing those gifts with you tonight. The first gift my father gave me was showing a love of life and always being very free and open with expressions of positive affirmation. When I think back to my father, I can still hear his voice echoing in my mind. Steve, I love you. Great job, son. I never doubted where I stood with my father, and that is something I have taken forward with me, with my 2 sons and my wife, always making sure they understand how I feel about them. We never know when we're going to have that last communication. I've often replayed in my mind, what if I'd been estranged from my father? What if I haven't talked to him in years and suddenly I'm getting a phone call saying, your dad is gone? I'm grateful that I don't have to experience that. Grieving is more difficult enough without adding in doubt and guilt into the equation. Which brings me to the second gift. This was an inadvertent gift. I'm 19 years old, standing at the visitation, waiting for the streams of family and friends to come by, offering words of encouragement and support. I'd like to share a couple of them, of the words that they shared with me that day. Steve, you must be strong for your mom and sister. Now, Stephen, you're head of the household now. You have to look after your mom and sister. They're right, yeah, I do. I do need to keep my feelings inside. If they see me cry, they're going to cry. We're never going to get our lives on track. I'm going to be strong. Very misguided, but I was naive. This was my first major impact of grief. And so I kept everything bottled inside. And what did that do? Not only did it negatively impact me, my mom and sister were now stressed. Steve's not himself. Why isn't Steve showing any emotion about this? I had taken those misguided words and took them to heart and internalized them. Since then, whenever there's been, and unfortunately there has been opportunities for grief, I've learned you have to let it go. You have to rely on your support network of family and friends to help you. It puts you in a better place, and it allows you to heal through the grieving process, and doesn't cause as much stress for your family. The third and perhaps greatest gift my father gave me was as I was sitting, waiting for the service to begin, I hear commotion behind me. I turn and look, and there they've opened the partition and they've now added more seats because there's overflow traffic to the service. And it hit me. My dad had made impact on so many people. One man. Business acquaintances, friends, family, neighbors, people he'd worked with as a volunteer, all had come to the service. And I realized, and sometimes I think we lose sight of this fact, we have tremendous impact on a great many people. Some we just don't even think about, but we mean a lot to them. And so you can choose to use that impact for positive or negative. Positive, I think, is the way to go. because it allows others to repay, and so the ripples get stronger, and in turn, our world and society is a better place. So these are the 3 greatest gifts my dad gave me. Always let your loved ones know how you feel about that. Allow the grieving process to happen. Don't bottle it up. And finally, realize that no matter how small an impact you think it is, you have a greater impact on other people's lives. And always have that and carry that thought with you in order to make this world, I think, a better place. I thank you for your time.